Okay, we're going to switch from Leno to Tarot now, and like I said in the previous video, the thing that I found really frustrating when I began to learn Tarot, going to learn about Tarot I suppose, was that in a lot of videos people either didn't read for themselves or they didn't really kind of talk about how to do readings from scratch. Or they only read upright cards, for example, and they didn't really explain how to read reversals. Yeah, it was just all a little bit confusing. It was very confusing, in fact. So I wanted to show you two readings. I'm going to do two imaginary readings. I kind of call them ghost readings. And we are just going to make up a story in both cases. One of the first reading we'll use only upright cards, so I show you how I would do that. And then with the second reading we're going to shuffle in reversals. So first of all, what I want to show you is how I get all my cards upright. So I know it sounds simple, but initially I kind of found this to be a little bit awkward, a bit time consuming, I suppose. So I want to show you how I do it. So this is my deck of Borderless Rider-Waite-Smith cards, which I love. I love Pamela Coleman Smith's signature here. We've got the P, the C, and the S, all right. I love the green back as well with the rose. So I take my cards, and in order to get them all facing upright, I have found the easiest way of doing this is I hold my deck of cards in my left hand, and with the right hand I put the upright above and the reverse below. Upright above, reverse below, and I just look for the text mainly. That's kind of what I'm doing, especially with the cards that have names on them. Otherwise I'm just looking at the design. But it does kind of make it easy if you just look for where the text is. The text goes down, apart from the Hanged Man, of course. That one needs to be, oh no, it doesn't need to be that way. Yeah, that way, there we go. Getting myself confused. So the Lovers, there we go. It's kind of hard to talk and do this at the same time, but just to show you, if I didn't do this, what I would have to do is kind of twist the cards each time, turning them around, and you end up getting a bit of a sore wrist. So I find this is the fastest way of doing this. I call it resetting the deck. All right, here we go. And then I just want to talk about how I shuffle in reversals. These are all the things that now I take for granted, but when I first started to learn, I just didn't know, and I couldn't really find anyone to tell me. So I'm trying to cover things that maybe you can't find anywhere else, and maybe other people don't talk about it, but they are very useful things to learn. Okay, so now all we have to do is take the bottom pile, turn it upside down, and we have got all of our cards upright, in upright position, as you can see. All right, nice and easy. So we're not twisting our wrist around, it's nice and fast. Okay, like I said before, I really like doing the riffle shuffle with the bridge. The main thing is to use your 3 fingers on the bottom to kind of create a base. Use your pointy fingers to create a spring, and use your thumb to hold the top. And it takes a little bit of practice, but what you find, and by the way, then I kind of curl my fingers underneath to hold the cards. I hold like the devil, push like the devil with my thumbs, and then let me see if I can show you that again. All right, so you split, do this number to get them nice and neat, and then we create a spring. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I find that this works pretty well. It works really, really well. Okay, now, so say I am doing a reading with all upright cards first of all. That's just, there's many different ways that you can do this. If I'm reading for myself, what I tend to do is I spread the cards out into a kind of a horseshoe type shape. Here we go. Hopefully they're all appearing on the screen. We have enough space. These ones might be off a bit. And then if I'm reading for myself, or even for another person, sometimes what I'll do is I will just kind of close my eyes and select 1, 2, 3, we're going to select 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, all right? Okay, put that stack to one side. And sometimes what I'll do, if I get the if I get an intuitive hit, an idea to do this, I will reorganize the order of them. So I'll lay down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that this one becomes our first card. And with a Celtic cross, we lay card number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or I do anyway, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. Move these over just so that we have enough space. All right, let's have a look at the screen. Move these down a bit. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have our Celtic cross laid out. Now, what I don't do, which you'll see a lot of people do, they cover, and they'll say this card covers this card, or sometimes they'll add another card, so you end up with 12. I don't do that, or they have a significator. I don't do that. I just lay out the 10 cards, and I want to be able to see all of them. Now, if I am to assign positions, which I don't always do, I have to say, but let's do it for the sake of doing this example reading for a ghost. The positions would be the situation, what is influencing it, either good or bad, kind of like cause and effect type thing. What's in the foundation, what has happened in the recent past, what is on the person's mind, or maybe like a short-term goal, what are they thinking about? Or again, another kind of influencing factor. What is most likely going to happen in the very near future, how they feel about the whole situation, the influence of the environment or environmental factors or other people, the hopes and fears, and the final outcome. Okay, so now what I will do is I'm going to turn my cards, and as I'm doing this, the main thing that I'm looking for, and again, we're going to keep all our cards upright, is we're thinking about the primary vibes, we're looking at where the major arcana are, but more than anything else, I'm looking for matching suits. That's really the first thing that I am thinking about, all right? So we have another major arcana here, we've got Page of Pentacles. Now, I don't always apply a huge significance to the major arcana, it just kind of depends on the type of reading, all right? So let's have a look at this. What do we notice first and foremost? Well, straight away, what I'm seeing is that we have got a Page of Pentacles in a very prominent position. We've got an Ace of Pentacles, so there's a relationship here. We have got the Eight of Swords, and we've got the Nine of Swords as an outcome. We have a relationship here, right? Okay, now what is happening here? We have got the Ace of Swords here, right? Okay, now, so there seems to be, and there's a relationship between this card, and this card. Why? Because it tends to sort of talk about new beginnings. We also have the Page of Cups as well. All right, so we've got several things going on here. Now, why would we have this new start, right? By the looks of things, this challenging new start. Okay, maybe the attainment of information and a decision to be made. Well, because in the past we've got the Moon, the verb to lie. We have got the Eight of Swords to be sort of anxious, to be really kind of lost in one's thoughts, but also it's a kind of depression, it's anxiety, let's say, to feel anxious. We have got the Home, and then the Ace of Pentacles, so maybe what we have, we've got the card of boundaries. We've also got an ending, to put up healthy boundaries, but to end, because it's a major, look at this, a start, a new start, an ending, a decision to be made. what do we have here? I think in a nutshell, we have the discovery, the attainment of information that someone has been lying, right? Maybe they have been seeing someone behind the person's back, right? And so this is causing the breakup of the relationship, the decision to break up the relationship, which means that they probably live together, so they're going to end up moving, right? They will need to sort of look for a new place to live, a new home, the Ace of Pentacles, and to put up boundaries. So it is a new start, but it's a painful new start as a result of someone else's action. This person doesn't want to be losing this relationship. Maybe they have kids, maybe there are children here as well, you know, they've got a family home, there's a lot of money that's invested into this, so maybe they need to sell the house to have the new start. So now, do you see how you start to think real life situations? The Fool becomes, oh, actually it's a, not the Fool as in you know, a kind of a, to bravely step off the cliff, a kind of a very esoteric tarot type fool, but actually this is to put a house on the market, you know, to sell a home, to go through a divorce. This could be represent a divorce, this could represent the new path, in the sense of, well, actually it's kind of divorce papers, but also maybe it's a major move. Maybe finally they've decided, you know something, my kids have grown up, maybe they've left for university, or they're married, they've got their own children, maybe this person's in their late 50s, early 60s, and they think, you know what, I've always wanted to go and live in Los Angeles, maybe I've got family in LA, or I've got family in New York or something like that. Hey, I'm going to move and do this major move and have this completely new start. And yes, it's terrifying, but at the same time, you know, it's going to require a lot of healing, but at the same time, you know, it's going to be ultimately necessary. Now, but also there could be another thing happening here, because what I'm saying to myself is, well, hang on a minute, maybe this is a warning. It's a warning for someone who is really unsure about what to do, and they're really overwhelmed by the whole situation, because look at how we've got the Nine of Swords. So what do we do when we have a negative card at the very end of a reading? Well, what I would say is I would ask the question, will this person's current path, the new path, the Fool, lead to their best outcome? Will their current path lead to their best outcome? Well, the looks of things is a problem here. So what I'm looking at is obstacles. Now what I will do is I'll just say to the person, just concentrate on your situation, on your life. Tell me when to stop shuffling. And the person says, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's stop. Okay, we've got the Five of Cups, right, yeah. So this is the problem, is that what the person needs to do is this is where the Page of Cups comes in. The Page of Cups represents a new path in the sense of therapy. They really need therapy. Look at this. Majorly, they need therapy to overcome this. So now what we look at is a different way of interpreting these cards, and this is where a Celtic cross can become very multi-layered. The more that you get into it, you say, well, hang on a minute, why do we have the card of the subconscious mind here? What's happened to you in the past? What's causing these nightmares, this trauma, this fear, you know? What's causing this? And the person says, well, this is not the first time that I've been in this situation. I've been in really abusive relationships. Every single time I get into a new relationship, something bad happens. I am so unlucky in love. Oh my God, nothing ever works out for me. And I say to the person, oh my gosh, we need to read Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. We need to start looking at, you know, how our words shape our reality. And I would recommend, say, a YouTube channel like Marissa Peer, for example. I would recommend that they read Mel Robbins' book, The 5 Second Rule. I'd recommend that they read Magick by Damien Eccles, or The Middle Pillar by Israel Regardie, and yeah, learn about how what's happening is we're going round and round and round. This is a circle of manifestation, right? Because the thing is, there is this kind of willingness each time to try, you know, with love again, and they are kind of open to putting themselves out there in the world. But look at how they're sort of putting themselves on show. So maybe this is actually a younger person whose whole identity is based upon their physical image. Maybe they've had tons of plastic surgery, they're hitting the Botox, you know, kind of every 6 months, and everything is about how they got under the knife to reshape their image every single time to try to become the perfect person for someone else, and ultimately they end up disappointed, you know, and making bad choices. So there you go. I think that was quite an interesting reading for a ghost. You see the way you can keep the cards upright and you can still do a really deep dive. Hopefully I've showed you that, but it just requires a little bit of thinking. You take your time. We go nice and slow and controlled, you know. Now, if you are asking, well, how do I think of these different interpretations for these cards? Because nowhere in my books does it say, well, the Ace of Swords means plastic surgery and the Ace of Pentacles means going round in circles. The Ace of Pentacles, let's have a look at it. I just want to sort of show you this, because it is something that takes a while to overcome. If you type in Ace of Pentacles into Google, it says the Ace of Pentacles is a positive tarot card that signifies a fresh start, financial opportunity, or material abundance, represents a tangible gift or seed of potential regarding your job, money, or health, inviting you to take practical steps forward. Upright meaning new career, a fresh job, promotion, or business venture, finances, a financial windfall, a solid investment, or increased security. Physical health, a strong start on fitness goals, health and vitality. Manifestation, turning your dreams into a real stable reality. Now, this is the problem, is that if you say all of this, if you do a reading for someone and you read all of this out and the person is thinking, but I feel like shit, that's not how I feel at all. I don't believe in myself. I've got low self-esteem like you wouldn't believe. I'm hitting bottle every single night. Oh my God, I feel terrible, you know. I'm crying in my my tea, right? Maybe I've packed on loads of weight, or I just can't be bothered to go to the gym, and I'm broke, and oh my God, I've got nowhere to live now. Yeah, this is the thing. You have to look at the end result, that Nine of Swords, and how it connects to this and how it connects to this. Because you see, the fear, this is in the hopes and fear category or position. So they're afraid of making a decision to change their life and to sever ties with the old version of themselves. It could almost be the Tower here. You know, so there is this fear, but also there's this kind of blind optimism. The Fool could be quite a negative card, really, in the sense of especially looking at following or being touched by the Eight of Swords, because it works like the star in Lenormand. The star, yes, a very upbeat person would say, oh, well, the star is all about faith and optimism, hope and plans and wish on a star. Yes, but someone who wishes on a star, it becomes like a Seven of Cups tarot card. You're building castles in the sky. You're not being realistic. You're not seeing a situation for how it is. So anyway, there you go. If in doubt, pull an 11th card. Okay, folks, hope you enjoyed this little video. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing. And if you can take a second to push the like button if you enjoyed it, which I know that you did. And come on, please, where else are you going to find this on YouTube? That would really help me. Next up, we're going to do another Celtic cross for another ghost. And we're going to shuffle in reversals, and I'll show you how to do that if you're reading for yourself or other people. And by the way, if you are not reading for yourself, I would seriously encourage you to do so. I do not believe that you cannot read for yourself. I do not believe that you have to be gifted a deck of tarot cards. I don't believe that you've got to wrap them in silk or put them under the full moon. You can do all of those things. But, you know, you can buy a deck of cards for yourself and start reading for yourself in a very scientific way. And the sooner that you do that, the sooner you'll realize that they are just pictures. They're just pieces of card. They're just pictures and a numerical system that help you to connect with your deep mind. And they are ultimately a representation of an archetypal journey from birth to death that every person goes through, and a representation of one's entire vocabulary. I see this as a language and a science, as well as, you know, a very powerful spiritual and esoteric tool, but primarily it's just a language of symbols, and symbology is a language of many, many, many layers. All right, guys, hope you have a great day. Send me love and light, positive energy. See you in the next video. Bye.